Hello everyone, my name is Eric Rankin and this is my disposition video for GCU. Today I'm going to be talking about 3 questions. Question number 1, what is the special education teacher's role in supporting learning, improving, planning, and practice, upholding professional expectations and ethics, and collaboratively advancing the profession? Question number 2, what dispositions that you currently possess will help you become a successful teacher? What dispositions do you need to work on before you enter the classroom as a first-year teacher? Now, before I get into that, I'll just go ahead and say that I am a 7th-year teacher, and so I've had many years to think about question number 2 already. And then finally, question number 3, what effect could personal biases have on expectations that teachers have for their students? How could these biases affect their relationships with students and their families? So getting into question number 1, what is my role as a special education teacher? Now, first of all, my role as a general education teacher, I believe, is to inspire, to promote effort, to get students to want to do their best, to have them believe in themselves, and push them to their maximum potential. Take them to a place that they didn't believe that they could go to before entering your classroom. Now, as a special education teacher, the role is different. I assume it's going to be different. And as I think about it right now, I'm thinking that to be a better teacher, I'm going to have to understand the students more. Not only the students, but understand their disability more. What are some of the things that they can and cannot do? How are they going to be successful in the classroom? And I need to educate myself on that. I am hoping that this graduate course through GCU will provide me with a lot of the information needed so that when I am a first-year special education teacher, I can walk in there and be as successful as possible. The collaboration part is probably going to occur with the general education teacher at that school so that I can make sure that my students have a very inclusive environment and they feel welcomed into the general education classroom, and that they feel like they're a part of the student body. That question is going to be answered more in depth as I continue my career, and so I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know all the answers to it now. Many of those answers will come to me years after this video is posted. Getting into question number 2, what dispositions do I currently possess will help me become a successful teacher? And what do I need to work on? Right now, I'm really committed to my students. I'm committed, to the ends of the world. I mean, I want to do what I can to make sure that when they move on from my classroom, not only are they moving on more prepared, but they are leaving a better person than what they came into my classroom as. I not only see myself as a teacher, but I see myself as a life coach. I have a unique opportunity where I can be a positive influence in many of these students' lives, and they look up to me. They see me as a positive male role model, and it really is my job and my duty to project myself as such. That way they know what it looks like. So commitment to my students is one. Also high expectations. I believe that every student that enters my classroom can do it. They can succeed. They can score well. They can learn all the different concepts that the district wants them to learn. Many of the times there'll be teachers at your school or throughout the district who are kind of just passively collecting their paychecks, and they may not try to engage and encourage the students as much as possible. That's different with me. My expectations are that if they put forth the effort, anything is possible. One of the sayings that I like to say in my classroom is the only one that can hold you back is yourself. And so when students believe, there's nothing that can stand in their way. They may get it wrong 99 times, but then that one time that they get it right, well, then they feel that success and that feeling they want to carry over to the next project, to the next problem, whatever it is. So high expectations is also high on the list. The things that I need to work on is honesty. Sometimes I don't have a filter and I say things that are very direct. I call people out on their, I call them out. And it's not just students, it's teachers as well. If a teacher is producing failing students, I want them to take actions on what are they going to do to make sure that it doesn't happen next year. And I have no problem telling them that, because in my opinion, it's all about the students. And if the students are going to suffer and they're going to be hurt by a teacher, then somebody should let that teacher know. And so honesty is definitely something that I need to work on. I try to have a filter. I would say professionalism could also be worked on a little bit. I like to just show up and teach. One of my favorite moments that I've had as a teacher, I had an old-time teacher that was new to it. He had done a real estate career for 20 plus years and got into teaching later in his life. And he comes to me one day and he says, well, how do you do it, Mr. Rankin? How do you do it? So I spent 6-7 hours doing lesson plans over the weekend, and I still don't have it. I get up in front of the in front of the students, and I'm lost, and I don't know what to do. And I look at him and I say, "Are you a teacher?" He says, "Yeah." And I said, "So stand up there and teach." And that's kind of how I approach my career. Is I'm able to get in front of any classroom, and I'm able to teach. But I know that through a larger professionalism, through doing more lesson planning and sitting down and trying to really figure out how to better serve the students, it'll make me a better teacher, whether I like it or not. And then lastly, diversity, and it has nothing to do with teaching diverse students. I'm very good at it. I happen to teach in a well-diverse community. But the diversity for me is to try and bring in more of the diverse materials, cultural relevance, trying to teach the students in a way that they can relate to. I believe that's important, because if my students are learning about things that they have no experience, no background knowledge with, they may not have the interest. But if I can bring something that they have experience with to the classroom, then the excitement and the willingness to learn, it may be there for them. So those are my dispositions. Lastly, number 3, I'm going to do this one relatively quick because I'm at 8.5 minutes, and plus I think I narrowed it down. So question 3 is my biases and the relationships toward the students and families. And I've had this a few times. Now, being a 7th year teacher, I have taught siblings, and I know that, little Sarah, that she was a great student, and her little sister's coming up, and I expect her little sister to be as great and as smart and as well behaved as Sarah, and sometimes that's not always the case. Also, having the siblings, if you had a good relationship with them, it may give you a bias like, okay, I'm going to look the other way when this student threw this piece of paper across the classroom, when as opposed to someone else who may throw it, they may get more of a consequence, and I think that's not okay. I have recognized that I've done that in the past, and that is something that I need to work on. And the same thing is, like, if I have a good relationship with their parents, I may be more flexible, more easy with the students, and that's not always okay. Anyways, there's my disposition video. I hope you enjoyed it. I look forward to making a bigger impact in the special education community as I continue on with my career.